Some stories don't fade with time, they echo. The Great Pyramids, the Bermuda Triangle, the Indus Valley Civilization. 3 riddles humanity has never solved, and the closer we look, the stranger they become. Let's begin, where time stands still. Imagine for a moment. A world shrouded in secrets, a past whispered through crumbling stones, a present swallowed by an insatiable ocean, and ancient echoes fading into the sands of time. Tonight we journey into the heart of these enigmas, pulling back the veil on what lies hidden, what defies explanation, and what continues to haunt our collective imagination. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew. Feel free to let this play in the background while you work, relax, or even fall asleep to these unsolved mysteries. For centuries they have stood, defiant against the relentless march of time, colossal structures, born from an ancient world, piercing the Egyptian sky, the great pyramids of Giza. We have all seen their iconic silhouette, felt the weight of their immense history, but have we truly understood their silent story? The very notion of discovering something so monumental might seem strange, but for centuries these pyramids were simply there, part of the landscape, their true purpose and builders lost to the shifting sands of myth. European fascination truly ignited in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Napoleon's expedition to Egypt in 1798 brought with it a wave of scholars and scientists who meticulously documented these ancient wonders. And then, in 1842, Carl Richard Lepsius, a pioneering Egyptologist, embarked on an ambitious project to meticulously map and list every pyramid he could find, laying the groundwork for modern understanding. But this was not a singular eureka moment. It was a slow, painstaking process of peeling back layers of misconception, of deciphering a language etched in stone. The question is, who really built them? How and why? For generations, popular imagination painted a brutal picture, enslaved masses, toiling under the scorching sun driven by the lash, a dramatic but largely inaccurate narrative. The truth, as painstaking archaeological digs have revealed, is far more complex and, frankly, more awe-inspiring. Imagine tens of thousands of skilled workers, not slaves but organized, well-fed laborers, paid for their immense efforts, perhaps even with bread and beer. These were master craftsmen, engineers, architects, whose understanding of geometry and astronomy was breathtakingly advanced. They lived in sprawling, purpose-built cities near the pyramid sites, with bakeries, breweries, and even medical facilities. This was a monumental national project, a testament to a highly organized society. But how did they move stones weighing many tons, some quarried miles away? The most widely accepted theories involve ingenious systems of ramps. Picture a colossal spiral ramp winding around the pyramid as it grew, or perhaps a straight ramp that was constantly extended. Water, too, might have played a crucial role, reducing friction as enormous sleds laden with stone were dragged across wet sand or even floated through purpose-built channels. The precision is astonishing. The sides align almost perfectly with the cardinal points, the base an almost perfect square. These were not haphazard constructions. They were monumental acts of design and will. And why? Why this immense undertaking, these structures that dominate the horizon? They were tombs, yes, but so much more. They were cosmic engines, designed to launch the pharaohs, believed to be living gods, into the afterlife to ensure their eternal journey and the prosperity of Egypt itself. Each pyramid was a portal, a sacred mountain leading to the stars, securing the pharaohs' immortality and, by extension, the stability of their civilization. It was an act of profound faith, a dedication to the divine, a literal cornerstone of their belief system. For all we have learned, the pyramids have always held their secrets close, but in recent years, technology has allowed us to peer into their hidden depths without disturbing a single stone. We are talking about muon tomography, a revolutionary technique that uses cosmic particles to create 3D images. And what these scans have revealed has sent shockwaves through the archaeological world. In 2017, The Scan Pyramids project announced a monumental discovery within the Great Pyramid of Khufu, a massive, previously unknown void, at least 30 meters long, suspended directly above the Grand Gallery. They called it the Scan Pyramids Big Void. Its purpose remains a profound mystery. Was it a hidden chamber? A structural element? A passage to something even more incredible? But the revelations did not stop there. More recent radar studies, made public in early 2025, have hinted at something far grander, far more mind-boggling beneath the entire Giza plateau. Imagine a vast subterranean complex stretching for kilometers under all three major pyramids. Scientists reported finding what appear to be 5 identical, multi-level structures, connected by geometric passageways near the base of the Khufu pyramid, and even more astonishing, 8 vertical, cylindrical wells, encircled by spiral pathways, plunging hundreds of meters below the surface, eventually merging into 2 massive cube-shaped chambers, each 80 meters on a side. Think about that. Structures of unimaginable scale, hidden beneath the very monuments we thought we understood. It reawakens whispers of ancient energy grids, of purposes far beyond mere tombs. What were these wells? What were these chambers? Are we standing on the precipice of understanding a technology, a knowledge, that defies our current comprehension? The pyramids, it seems, are not just monuments to the past, but perhaps a key to a future we can barely conceive. The more we look, the more questions emerge, drawing us deeper into their silent stone embrace. The Great Pyramids, though ancient, remain profoundly relevant in today's world, not as functional buildings, but as enduring symbols of human ingenuity, mystery, and resilience. They continue to inspire modern architecture with their unmatched precision and sustainable construction methods, revealing how a civilization without machines built structures so exact they still baffle engineers. Their perfect alignment with true north and the stars of Orion's belt demonstrates a level of astronomical understanding that still influences modern science, navigation, and even cosmic mapping. Technologies developed while studying the pyramids, such as muon scanning, originally used to peer into their secret chambers, are now helping scientists monitor volcanoes, inspect nuclear reactors, and even improve airport security. Culturally, the pyramids remain pillars of Egyptian identity and pride, while globally, they power a multi-billion-dollar tourism and research industry, captivating minds with their elegance and enigma. Spiritually, they represent humanity's timeless search for eternity, order, and meaning, echoing a message of unity and ambition across millennia. More than stone and geometry, the pyramids serve as a reminder that some creations outlive their makers, not because they serve a physical purpose, but because they awaken something deeper in every generation, the hunger to understand who we are, where we come from, and what we are truly capable of building. Let us proceed further to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle vanished without a trace. A map of shadows. Long before the Bermuda Triangle had a name, sailors whispered about it in hushed voices. Spanish explorers of the 15s avoided the region when they could. Strange storms appeared from calm skies. Ships would lose their bearings, and time itself seemed to warp. This invisible triangle, formed by points stretching from Miami, Florida, to Bermuda and down to San Juan, Puerto Rico, sits on one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, but beneath its blue waves, a silence has echoed for centuries. In 1950s, journalist Edward Van Winkle Jones published an article about unusual ship disappearances in the region. Then in 1964, author Vincent Gaddis coined the term Bermuda Triangle in Argosy magazine. From there, the myth ignited into global fascination. But unlike other myths, the triangle left evidence, or rather, it left nothing. If the Bermuda Triangle had a moment of awakening, it was December 5th, 1945. Flight 19 with 5 TBM, Avenger torpedo bombers on board. took off on a clear afternoon for a standard training mission from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale. The lead pilot, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, was experienced and had flown the route many times. But radio transmissions revealed panic. We are entering whitewater. Nothing seems right. Taylor radioed. We don't know where we are. Everything is wrong. Ground control tried to guide them home, but Taylor's compass had failed. His sense of direction. Gone. By nightfall. All 5 planes had disappeared. No wreckage, no oil slick, no bodies. Even worse, a rescue plane with 13 men also vanished. 6 aircrafts and 27 aviators, all gone in one afternoon. This was not just an accident. This was a mystery that echoed into eternity. Flight 19 was just one thread in a vast tapestry of losses. In 1918, the USS Cyclops, a Navy cargo ship carrying 306 men and 10,000 tons of manganese, disappeared without a distress call. No wreckage has ever been found. In 1948, a Douglas DC-3 flying from Puerto Rico to Miami vanished 50 miles from its destination with 32 people aboard. The weather was fine, no mayday. In 1949, Star Tiger, a British passenger aircraft, disappeared between the Azores and Bermuda. 31 lives gone, no trace whatsoever. The investigation concluded. In 1963, 2 massive U.S. Air Force KC-135 Stratotankers collided mid-air, then mysteriously plunged into separate crash zones 160 miles apart. To date, over 1,000 ships and aircrafts had vanished within the triangle. Some of them, like El Faro, disappeared as recently as 2015, carrying 33 people and a cargo of automobiles. This was the last message from the captain. We are taking on water. We have a hull breach. Then he broke into silence. What secrets lie at the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle? Thanks to modern technology, especially deep-sea sonar, scientists have begun mapping what was once unreachable. And what they have found is strange. Massive underwater craters, some as wide as 1,000 meters, suggest violent methane gas eruptions. When methane gas is trapped in pockets under the ocean floor and suddenly released, it can cause water density to drop so drastically that a ship can sink instantly without warning, without a trace. Other scans show geometric patterns that resemble submerged walls and stair-like formations, similar to those found off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Monument. Could this be evidence of a sunken city, perhaps even Atlantis? Adding to the mystery, oceanographers have detected magnetic anomalies beneath the seabed, irregular magnetic fields that interfere with navigational equipment. Compasses spin aimlessly, autopilot systems fail. For pilots and mariners, this is like sailing blind. And the triangle sits atop the Puerto Rico Trench, the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean. If a plane or ship sinks here, it could be swallowed into depths over 27,000 feet, never to be found again, despite the legends. Science has tried to pull back the curtain. Some experts argue that the Bermuda Triangle is not as deadly as it seems. They point out that it is one of the most heavily traveled regions in the world, and statistically, incidents are not dramatically higher here than in other oceans. But others disagree. Scientists studying the region have identified several potential culprits. Magnetic variation. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where magnetic compasses points directly toward true north, confusing navigation. This ocean also enables rogue waves, walls of water up to 100 feet tall, capable of destroying the sturdiest vessels. Sudden storms forming in seconds from clear skies with violent electric, and nearly impossible to predict. Tornadoes over the ocean that can lift entire planes and send them crashing into the sea. Still, none of these fully explain the lack of wreckage or distress signals. That is what haunts investigators the most. Not just how these machines vanished, but how completely. In the 21st century, technology has entered the fight against the Bermuda Triangle. Today, satellites, underwater drones, and real-time tracking systems watches the area constantly. Aircraft are equipped with GPS that automatically adjust for magnetic anomalies. Ships receive advanced meteorological alerts. AI helps predict rogue wave patterns with surprising accuracy. The US Coast Guard and even NASA continue to study the region. They insist the area is no more dangerous than any other stretch of ocean, but not everyone is convinced. A few researchers, like Dr. Kenneth McAllister, believe the triangle may sit on a temporal fault where space-time may bend unnaturally due to unknown Earth forces. Others speak of gravitational anomalies, wormholes, even extraterrestrial interference. Of course, these are theories, but so far, no explanation, scientific or speculative, has fully solved the mystery, because to this day, vessels still vanish. In 2020, a 29-foot boat with 20 people aboard disappeared en route from the Bahamas to Florida, despite an extensive 84,000 square mile search by the Coast Guard. Not a single life vest, scrap, or sign was ever found. The sea remains silent. For all our satellites and sonar, for all our technology and theories, we still have not tamed the sea. The Bermuda Triangle, whatever it is a reminder that the Earth is older, stranger, and more powerful than we understand. Maybe one day we will uncover the truth, or maybe the triangle is meant to stay hidden, a place where the compass spins wildly, where radios fall silent, where time, direction, and certainty are swallowed by the deep, a place that warns us. Let us proceed further to the mystery of the Indus Valley Civilization. In the drylands where Pakistan meets India, where the Indus River once flowed with thunder and grace, lies a ghost, not of a person, but of a people who built cities before most of the world even knew what a city was, a people who lived without kings, without war, in peace, in order and in brilliance, and then they were gone. No trace, no last words, just dust and silence. How does a civilization this advanced vanish so completely that even their name is lost to time? This is the story of the Indus Valley Civilization, an ancient enigma and perhaps a mirror into our future, around 2600 before Common Era, while the Great Pyramids were still young and Stonehenge barely standing. The Indus Valley was already rising. Cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were not just settlements, they were master plans. Streets aligned with astronomical precision, homes with private bathrooms, entire cities with drainage systems that would not look out of place in the modern world. But there was something different. No kings, no statues of rulers, no temples screaming power. Archaeologists have searched for palaces, for thrones, for the signature of absolute rule, but found none. Instead, they found weights and measures, standardized bricks, workshops, granaries. This was a civilization not built on conquest, but on cooperation. Their cities were not made for glory, they were made for people. And these people were clever. They developed a script, carved into seals. They traded with far-off lands, as far as Mesopotamia. They crafted ornaments with gold, beads, and terracotta. They made toys, whistles, games. They were not just surviving, they were living, and in their silence, no war records, no grand mythology, we hear something even louder. A civilization content to be human. But then, something shifted. Around 1900 BCE, the cities began to empty. Trade routes faded, craftsmanship declined, writing stopped. There was no sudden destruction, no piles of burned bones or collapsed towers, just a gradual fading, like a candle that flickers and quietly dies. But why? Could it be climate change? Research came up with some suggestions that may likely be the cause to its disappearance. First is climate change. Scientists believe monsoons that once brought life-giving rains started to fail. Crops dried, rivers shrank. The mighty Saraswati, essential to their survival, may have disappeared altogether. Second is tectonic shifts. Some suggest earthquakes altered the course of rivers, turning fertile soil into arid wasteland. And third, we have decline in trade. As Mesopotamia waned, the Indus trade connections may have withered. Without goods flowing in and out, cities lost their lifeblood. And lastly, internal migration. Instead of dying off, perhaps people simply moved, left the cities, merged with rural tribes, changed names, changed customs. No single answer, no grand collapse, just a slow unraveling, like fabric left in the sun too long, and with it, silence. Here is what makes it even more haunting. We still cannot read their script. We have uncovered thousands of seals with beautiful shorts and compact symbols, but no Rosetta Stones, no bilingual text to unlock their meaning. What secrets died with their language? Were they writing poetry, keeping laws, telling stories of gods we have never known? We don't know, and perhaps we never will. And because they did not write down their own ending, we are left to guess, to speculate, to wonder. Imagine one of the most advanced civilizations in the ancient world, completely forgotten for thousands of years, rediscovered not by archaeologists, but by accident, in the 1850s. British engineers laying railway tracks stumbled across piles of ancient bricks. They used them to build the railroad, not realizing they were walking across an entire buried world. It took nearly a century before anyone understood what had been found. By then, the silence had settled deep. But here is the twist. What if they did not disappear? What if they adapted? Recent genetic studies suggest the people of the Indus Valley did not vanish. Their descendants may have moved east, blended with other populations, became part of what we now call the Indian subcontinent. Maybe we have been looking at the story the wrong way. Maybe it is not a tragedy of disappearance. Maybe it is a lesson in transformation. The cities were lost, the script forgotten. But the people? They endured, just not in the way we expected. In a world obsessed with power and permanence. The Indus Valley stands as a gentle whisper. They did not build empires. They built communities. They did not wage wars. They made peace, and yet they were forgotten. Maybe that's the real tragedy, that in history, it is the loudest who are remembered, and the wisest, the kindest, the most balanced, are lost in silence. But today, we remember them. So the next time someone tells you that power is everything, remember Mohenjo-daro, remember Harappa, remember the people who chose peace and still mattered. If you enjoyed watching this video, subscribe to this channel for more mysterious and historical videos.